I'd like to welcome you once again to our few minutes together on the Parsha. Before I even begin to speak about the Parsha, I'd like to express my gratitude and thanks for all the wonderful good wishes that the members and leaders of the Young Israel Beth of Borough have expressed to my wife and myself on the birth of our new granddaughter, which is a truly miraculous event. And Amir Hashem, sometime over the next year, we'll have a chance during the Shiurim to discuss the special nature of this wonderful simcha. And I take this opportunity to wish that all of our members and friends have opportunities to celebrate great simcha. This week's Parsha is Parsha Ki Tetze. And the Parsha begins by telling us, Ki Tetze la milchama ala yevecha, when you go out to war against your enemies, unesono Hashem elokecha biyadecha, then Hashem, your God, will give him into your hands. In the previous time that war was mentioned, as far as the Jewish people having a war in Chumash Bamidbar, it tells us in the chapter dealing with the making of the bugles and the sounds that are to be made. Parenthetically, it should be noted that the sounds that are made with the chatzotzos are the source of where we get the sounds that are made with the shofar, the trua and the tkiya. And therefore, it says over there in Bamidbar that when a war will come to your land, and if there will come a war into your land, al hatzar hatzorer eschem, over the enemy that is causing you this siege, this trouble, uskatem b'chatzosos, you shall sound the bugles, and you'll be remembered before Hashem your God, and he will save you from your enemies. Two questions. Number one, why is it that in the Parsha of this week, in Ki Tetze, it's written in the singular, Ki Tetze la milchama ala yevecha, unesono Hashem elokecha biyadecha. Why is it that when you, singular, will go out to war against your enemies, then Hashem will give them to your hand, while when it talks in Parshas Ba'aloscha, it says, "V'chisavo'u milchama ba'artzechem," and if there will come a war in your plural land, and then you have to sound the shofar, the bugle, call everybody together, and then you'll be saved from your enemies. That's question number one. And secondly, why is it that when the war comes to your land, you have to sound the bugles, and only then will Hashem help you? While here, in Parsha Ki Tetze, there's no mention of any of this. It just says, if you will go out to war against your enemies, immediately, unesono Hashem elokecha biyadecha, Hashem will give him into your hand. These two issues, between these two differences, are a question that is raised by the famous Shem Mishmuel, and he gives a very appropriate answer, telling us that the two questions are really interrelated, and the differences between them can be answered with one answer. When you go out to war in the singular, Ki Tetze, when the Jewish people will be singularly united, when we will be all together against our enemies, there's no question about it. Unesono Hashem elokecha biyadecha, Hashem will give him into your hand. But v'chisavo'u milchama ba'artzechem, if the war will come into your plural land, meaning you're not united, you're fragmented, there are issues that are disturbing the unity of the Jewish people, then you got to sound the horns, got to make announcements. You have to do tremendous activity in order to bring the Jewish people together so that they ultimately can be saved from their enemies. We have just witnessed how crucial and vital it is to be united. When I was just in Eretz Yisrael and I met with the family that we adopted to present him with the funds that the Young Israel Bethel gives him each summer to help the family be supported, and he has 3 of his sons in the army in Gaza, fighting on the front lines, just as he did years ago. He told me, he said, you know, Rabbi Snow, here in Eretz Yisrael, everybody said, I don't know how we're going to get the Sfardim with the Ashkenazim, the Charedim, and the Dati Le'umi, the Hasidim, and the Misnagdim. I don't know how we're going to get everybody together. It's going to be impossible, even if we have no outside enemies. We have so many inside enemies. Everybody talks about Mashiach coming. It doesn't seem possible because we're not united. But you know what happened? Amazingly, in this war, when those 3 boys were kidnapped, the whole nation came together. We felt the achdus. We felt the unity. And a non-religious Jew said to me, he said, I didn't believe this could ever happen. But I feel like I'm a brother with every Jew in this country, even if he's not a Chiloni, even if he's a Haredi. This brought us together. We are living in a time when we have to be a unit to go out to war against our enemies. And if we do that, failing that, at least when the sounds of the shofar announce the same sounds as the chatzotzos, maybe that Rosh Hashanah will bring us all together. And the new year will see a year of unity amongst the Jewish people that will bring about that once again the future of the Jewish people will shine brightly, and we will see the coming of the eventual redemption that we all so long for. Have a wonderful Shabbos.